Welcome. Last time we discussed C, BB, spirit, A, the true spirit, and B, self-alienated spirit. Today we will take up C, spirit that is certain of itself, morality, and make our transition to C, CC, religion. First, a review and overview. The actualization of reason and spirit as all reality has been our focus and goal since we reached section C of the Phenomenology and its AA reason and BB spirit, in which the goal is finally reached, a goal best expressed as the unity of universality and individuality. To recall, Spirit's first section, A, the true spirit, Greek ethical life, was spirit as the universal, while its second section, B, self-alienated spirit, was spirit as the individual. In this final section of spirit, C, self-certain spirit, morality, we will see the unification of the universal and the individual, that is, Reich Gottes, absolute freedom, and the end of history. In brief, with the Enlightenment and pure insight, everything was self, and self was all reality. With utility, the self, qua universal will, became all reality and led to the French Revolution, which had to implode since it had the universal but not the individual, to be remedied in spirit certain of itself and morality and conscience. In short, morality contains a contradiction resulting in its collapse. It lacked the individual aspect, and conscience, as its truth, will realize the unity of universal and individual, that is, after it resolves an internal problem. At the end, morality and conscience are both transcended, and we will find ourselves beyond good and evil, guilt, judging, and being judged. C, spirit that is certain of itself, morality. Here we will begin with morality, which involves a separation or duality of pure duty and nature, the world, and the attempt to overcome the duality, which proves impossible as self-contradictory, and will advance to conscience, which, having realized this dualism to be untenable, begins with a unity or non-separation of duty and the world, which has its own problems and results likewise in its transcendence, but one which issues in Reich Gottes. First, our main question and its brief answers. Discuss Kant's concept of morality, its shortcomings, and its resolution by acting and judging conscience with the forgiveness of evil, mutual recognition, I equal I, and the appearance of absolute spirit or God, Reich Gottes. Briefly, Kant begins with the idea of pure knowing and willing as all reality, or the universal will, which he took over from the Enlightenment's utility and the French Revolution. He further divides the whole into the two opposed spheres of morality, duty, and nature, reality world. In one word, for Kant, there is a dualism which ought not to be a dualism. Duty and reality are contradictory. The goal of morality, the highest good, is to bring about the harmony of morality, duty, and nature, reality, world, aka kingdom come, the Jedi order, by converting the latter into the former by means of moral actions. This goal and task Kant calls a postulate, something that does not now exist but must be possible. For if it were not possible, there would be no reason to attempt it and engage in moral actions. However, if the harmony or unity of the two actually existed, all moral activity would cease, meaning that the goal of morality is to do away with morality itself. So, 1. Kant operates with a bogus concept of morality. 2. His ethics lack the aspect of recognition by others, which means that 3. Kant has the universal, pure duty, but not the individual and their unity, the you-I. Kant's shortcomings are resolved by conscience, for which duty and reality are not contradictory, but are one. Briefly, we have acting individual conscience and judging universal conscience. Everything acting individual conscience does is moral, good, and right, simply because of its conviction that it is moral and universal and benefits everyone. But because all acting conscience's actions are tainted by particularity and self-interest, they can be regarded or judged to be selfish and evil, as judging universal conscience claims. The judge then demands that the actor confess and admit that he is evil, for he pretends to be moral, but is really evil. And the actor does admit this and does ask for forgiveness, but only when he sees the hypocrisy of the judge and sees they are both the same, i.e., the judge wants his words alone to count as moral, while he does not act at all, being a beautiful soul. Thus, ultimately, they both realize their one-sidedness, confess, and thus forgive each other. This is a reciprocal recognition, which is absolute spirit, or, quote, God, appearing in the midst of those who know themselves as pure knowledge. Namaste. Each receives from the other what it lacks. Acting individual conscience, the universal, and judging universal conscience, the individual. Hence, both become a universal individual, or you-I. Quote, the I expanded into a duality and a unity of opposites, where both see themselves in each other. And I am absolutely okay, and you are absolutely okay situation. The final result is universal God or self-realization, kingdom come, and the Jedi order. As Hegel says, it means the end of all guilt, sin, judging, and being judged, where only love remains. Encyclopedia 159. Thus, universal recognition and education are destined to replace religion. A, the moral view of the world. In short, morality, or the moral view of the world, involves a contradiction, which results in its collapse and transition to conscience. The contradiction rests on two factors. One, pure duty is the absolute essence, and its actualization in the world is all that matters. Yet, two, duty and nature, the world, moral law and natural law are completely independent and indifferent to each other. And this makes the realization of duty in the world, or the conforming of nature to duty, impossible. Hence the need for postulates as an effort to remedy this situation. The way to bridge this divide and actualize duty is by moral actions on the part of individual self-consciousness. There are three postulates taken from Kant's moral philosophy. 1. The harmony of morality and nature, or happiness, aka the final purpose of the world, the highest good, or Reich Gottes. Again, this harmony must be postulated, because the moral individual finds that nature is indifferent and resists its moral efforts, denying the happiness which should accompany them. In fact, it complains that the non-moral person is often happier than itself. 2. The harmony of morality and sensibility, the nature within itself, its natural impulses and desires having a purpose opposed to that of pure duty. However, we can't get rid of sensuousness since it is needed to perform moral actions. Thus, as Hegel says, sensuousness should be in conformity with morality. Hence, this harmony or unity is likewise postulated. It is not actually there, for what is there is the opposition of sensuousness and duty or pure consciousness, end quote. 3. The third postulate is that of a holy moral lawgiver, or God, which must be postulated because, e.g., there are many moral situations involving many particular duties and their actions. But only pure duty, as a pure universal, is alone sacrosanct and authoritative for the moral individual, not any particular duty. So we must postulate another transcendent consciousness which can confer sacredness on the particular duties which alone bear upon reality.